I'm Laura Lenardi with Invent Global, and today I have Inero from Golden Guardians. I wanted to ask you, it seems like Golden Guardians does better when Froggen and Hanser have their pocket picks. Why is that?
Uh, I mean, it's kind of the same for everyone. Honestly, it's not just
Right.
specifically those guys. Uh, they like to try different things, and they spend a good amount of time playing on their like secret accounts, kind of figuring out how to play those things better, and just getting really, really comfortable on them. That's why they're just like comfort picks for them. And then while playing that, it doesn't really feel like they have to think too much about it. It's very easy. Everything's just kind of like muscle memory at that point when they're playing it, and it's all just habit. So when they're playing those champs, especially if it's ones that people haven't practiced against a lot, they're the ones with all the like matchup knowledge, and the other person is the one without. So like today, for example, playing Karthus into Corki, I'm sure Ryu has not played Corki into Karthus very often, but Froggen has. So he just has the leg up on that, and it's really easy for him to exert that advantage when it's set up like that.
All right, we saw you on stage today. We don't see a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
Was it draft related? If not, why were you on stage today?
Yeah, so it was draft related, but not just because of like the Tristana or Karthus thing.
Okay.
Um, Jimmy wanted me to help out and be another voice in draft. During the spring split, I was a pretty big voice in that regard. With Potluck coming in, Potluck provided something different in that phase, and Jimmy was just kind of looking for a bit more of that for the end of the split as we like gear up for playoffs and hopefully making playoffs. So I was just there to help him out with that. I was just there for the like draft prep and everything ahead of time. So I just gave my own advice in draft and like, hey, I think this can really screw you over if this happens, or hey, they're like over there talking about this. Usually on stage, like I'm actually pretty okay at like reading people like talking about stuff and like reading lips, and it's just kind of like I like to joke around and do that
Yeah.
with the other side. So I talk a bit about that too, just to see like if they're doing anything. But those are just like small things. Jimmy just wanted me to help out on stage, so I said, sure, I don't mind.
Okay, as an academy coach, how do you compare coaching LCS?
So academy is definitely a lot more of a like teaching environment. The LCS side is definitely a lot more team environment, like management, team building, and a lot of things like that to focus on being the best team possible.
Right.
Academy obviously has elements of that because we're still in a whole team environment, but it's definitely a lot more focused on the learning aspects and getting everyone on the same page of this is how we should be playing the game and this is what we're supposed to do, rather than okay, now we're at the LCS level, this is how we want to play the game, this is how we want to focus on doing things together and not just learning the building blocks towards it.
All right. And because you like player development so much, as you have mentioned, do you think that you are a better fit in academy, or do you also encounter that in the LCS?
Uh, it's there a bit in both, but definitely a lot more so in Academy. Honestly, really like Academy. This is my first split really doing something in Academy at all. When I joined Echo Fox initially, I was meant to be working as their like Challenger Series coach for Delta Fox,
Right.
and I just kind of got pushed into the head coach role and like needed to do that to fill it, and I've been in that ever since. So this has been pretty refreshing for me. I really enjoy it, even though we have like what we started with Darshan and Huhi as like two veteran guys. It's having that other three core group of guys that needed to learn things and build, and having those veterans to build around with it felt really good and really natural for me. So like right now Academy honestly feels pretty great. I like doing that. Not to say I don't like LCS, but I think that that is something that can definitely be a really big fit for me and something I really enjoy doing. I just want to keep spending more time doing it and seeing how it feels because it's honestly really, really fulfilling.
Okay, and with the recent roster swap of Golden Guardians, do you think
Yeah.
that makes you do your job differently?
Um, Not really differently. So with definitely and Keith, they were both like experienced guys that got moved down to Academy, and they both have a lot of experience in different ways. Like Matthew had a very clear ways like he wanted to play the game, and it was pretty easy to like incorporate that into what we were doing. And he also still had a lot of stuff he needed to work on. So it was all really straightforward. With Keith coming in, we've got like a few ideas of things that he liked from C9 and didn't like from C9 that we can kind of incorporate into our own team and kind of build off of. So it didn't change up too much. It was just a whole different perspective and a different person. So not a huge change really.
Okay. As an academy coach, how is it that you interact with the rest of the coaching team in LCS?
Yeah. So interacting day to day, we meet every day at 10 o'clock in the morning. and just kind of talk about what the LCS team is planning to do, and then I kind of give them a little bit of an update on what we're working on and kind of how the guys on our side are playing. Right now, we're in the position of having a really, really good academy team, and they're really strong, and we're really competitive even against our LCS team. So we talk a bit about like what we can do to like pressure our team to be better on the LCS side by using academy players and things like that. So we've got a lot of interactions around that lately, especially with like internal scrims and things that we've been doing a little bit more of for third blocks. So I'm talking a lot with the staff in that way on how we can help each other out through that. But overall, outside of it, we have a two-way player coach, Potluck. He was the guy who was on stage prior to me coming up today.
Right.
He kind of floats between both rooms. So he would come into academy sometimes, watch our players, and just kind of ask questions and talk about things and try to give feedback to them from the LCS perspective. So that way they can kind of know, okay, this is what the LCS team would need me to do better so I can actually move up. So day to day, I'm working with the two-way player coach the most, but I still interact every now and then with Jimmy and everyone else at the start of the day.
Oh, sorry. Do the players in LCS also interact with Academy and give each other tips?
Oh yeah, they interact all the time. Like, so our LCS room is in one spot, and then literally like 5 feet over is the academy room.
Okay.
There's just doors separating us really, but all the guys are always super talkative with each other. Right now we have like a ping pong leaderboard that we're doing.
Oh, awesome.
Everyone just challenges each other all day to ping pong and stuff, so they have these like casual interactions all the time. We're all super friendly since we've like moved the rosters around too. Like Victor and Jay, or Victor and Jay being FBI and Huhi, are really close to their academy side because that was their team for most of this split. So they're always joking around with each other, giving each other advice where they can. Ole especially always really tries to help FBI and Huhi about things on bot lane because he has a lot of experience that he wants to just pass on to them and help them with. So these guys are always talking to each other about things they can do and different ideas for champions, like Tristana today. So.
Right. Okay. And do you have any words for the fans of Golden Guardians that are watching it right now?
Just always thanks to the fans. I know when I was on Echo Fox, I always shout out the Discord people. Same thing for Golden Guardians. I really appreciate that you guys are always talking to me. I love interacting with the Discord and just the community and fans. So thanks, guys, for supporting me. Even though you don't get to see me as much anymore, I do like hanging out and talking about Academy with you guys. So I appreciate everything.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Sweet.